G'day everyone and welcome to my channel DB Designs and Sewing Australia. My name's Deb and today I've got the unboxing of the latest Dahlia Sewciety Bespoke box called Boho Goddess. So first of all, what I'm wearing, I am wearing, put my glasses on, Berta 6221. It was a dress and I made it into a top, and it's a linen blend from Spotlight, and it only cost $9 a metre and it only took 1 metre to make. I don't really like the sleeves very much, makes your arms very exposed, but it's very fast and very easy. So I sort of feel that it's too big in the neck, even though it fits in the bust and the waist and everywhere else. I did wear it to work today with the Daisy Designer pants by Style Art, because the watermelon colour in it actually happens to match exactly with the pants. I'll insert a photo so you can see it, and I'm very happy with the pants. That was my trial run of the Daisy Designer pants. I've since made several other pairs, some of the Daisy Designer and some of the New Look 6351 pants in linen. That's what I made, the green linen and the blue denim-y look lightweight linen in. And both pants they're actually practically the same pattern. I lay one pattern on top of the other, and I think the New Look ones were slightly narrow in the hips, and so that was the pattern that I gravitated towards, because my hips are the narrowest part of me. So I have gone on to using the New Look pattern, but the Daisy Designer pattern is also a good pattern. I know that I made a pair of olive coloured linen ones of those for my daughter Hannah. So anyway, let's get on to the unboxing. So the theme is Boho Goddess, and here's the beautiful postcard. It says, "Here comes the sun," and the sun certainly was here today, because it's still actually quite hot. I don't have air conditioning down in my sewing room, but it does reach from the family room down to here, so it's not too hot in the house today. But I think it was 37 or 38 degrees today, and when I was driving home I could see that my car was saying it was 40 degrees outside. So on the other side of the card is some lyrics from the song Summer Breeze, and if you're as old as me, you know that song. What else came with it is this beautiful little label that says, "This size fits me." And that's really all you've got to worry about. Not what size it is, what size fits you. And the pattern that Kristen will have used herself is the Megan Nielsen Protea pattern. And I've got a little code there to get 20% off that pattern if I wanted to. So I don't think I will be making the Protea. Can all be a bit gathered for me. And the next thing is some pins. Now these are clover flower head pins, keeping in the Boho Goddess theme of floral. And they look like really nice long pins, so they'll be great. Ooh, the next thing we've got is some whisk and pin muesli. Now this is the summer muesli. It's a natural blend with strawberry, pineapple, pistachio and mulberry. Sounds delicious, and I have that type of breakfast every day with yogurt and berries. So that will be lovely. Last time the whisk and pin one was beautiful, but it wasn't the summer muesli, it was a different one than that. So that'll be great. I've also got a Madame Flavour tea bag, and it's called Deeply Relaxing. Delicious and gentle with chamomile and lavender. So that will be very nice. Oh, and some little lollies called Love Notes, and there were ones you could get Love Notes and Love Hearts. when I was a kid in the 70s, in the early 70s. And so they're actually really yummy lollies. Oh, I know what else I've got. This is a melt to go in an oil burner, and it is called Active Air. Oh, and it smells really beautiful. It actually smells like the beach. And that's from Dusk. And Dusk, I'm not sure if you have Dusk in any other country other than Australia. Dusk is a shop that sells candles, scents, all that type of thing, and every sort of paraphernalia that you can get to go in it. I have a lot of their products, and they have been around for many, many years. So that will be lovely. I've also got some thread, so that gives you a bit of a hint about what colour the fabric is. And here is the fabric. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. It is boho goddess fabric, isn't it? And it's 100% viscose crepe. And I've got, tell me how much I've got. 1, 2, I'll be at 2.5 meters. And so I won't be making the protea dress out of this. I will be making another dress that I just received the pattern for. I think you say it like Taiko blouse dress. Now, named patterns come from, I think they come from Finland. So probably never going to be able to pronounce the names. So that dress there, I really, really love this style of dress, which with much more of an empire waistline. So your waistline starts up just under your bust. And this has got really, really lovely sleeves. So it's got an elasticated sleeve, but the elastic is set up a little way. So it gives a frill in the bottom edge of the sleeve. And I think this fabric is just going to be perfect. Well done, Kristen. This is just beautiful. And I can already feel that it's really lovely and really drapey. So I'll have to get cracking and make up this fabric while it's still summer here. It's not raining in Melbourne today, but has been on lots of other places in Australia. Now, the other thing that I received, or that I purchased when I purchased the Boho Goddess box, was some linen viscose. So you can see this, it's beautiful. Got 1.9 meters of that, so I will be able to get a dress out of that. And the pattern is called Painterly Primrose. It's just beautiful. Look how summery that looks. So lovely. So I really want to make a dress. I find dresses really easy to wear. You've only got to find one thing to put on, but I actually do like them quite long, so you can't really see how white my legs are. And when Kristen sent me that fabric, she also popped in a tea bag and a cookie. And the cookie is from Charlie's Cookies, which actually started, Charlie's Cookies have been around for a fair few years now, but they started off making little tiny cookies in cups, like a coffee cup, and you used to get them in your car after you had your car serviced. When you got in, there was a cup in your cup holder that had Charlie's Cookies in it, and I think they've just grown from there. They're a very, very nice product. They're not called Charlie's Cookies anymore. They're called Charlie's Fine Food Company. I think they make more than cookies. But Yes, they're very, very local because I think their factory is in East Bentley, which is where I grew up as a girl, so it's not very far from me. And that will be lovely. So, just a reminder, this is the fabric. Boho Goddess. Very, very pretty. Yeah, absolutely lovely. So, I will be washing those 2 pieces of fabric. I will be overlocking them and washing them. I have had to go back to my old overlocker because I had a bit of an accident with my new overlocker that I think is only 8 months old. I have 2 horn cabinets. One's got my sewing machine set into it and the other one has an overlocker set into it. Now my Janome air threader overlocker, I had lifted it all the way up to the top, opened all the doors, vacuumed it out, cleaned it. It had no thread or anything on it. And I obviously had not secured that or clicked it hard enough into place when I pulled it up, because I have it as a flatbed usually when I sew. And it crashed all the way down to the bottom with the doors open on it. So first of all, I couldn't even get it out of the cabinet because I couldn't get the doors closed. I got the doors closed, it smashed the needles off. I managed to get the doors closed, fixed it all up and thought, oh, it's an air threader, it's going to be broken, it's not going to work anymore. And so I did get it working and it does thread perfectly well, but there seems to be a big space between the blade that cuts it off and the loopers. Doesn't matter how I adjust the tension, it doesn't seem to make any difference. So I managed to get hold of my sewing machine mechanic today and I dropped it off to him on the way home from work tonight. So hopefully he can fix it for me, because that was my new overlocker that was only 8 months old and cost $1,600. So hopefully, but I must say that my old overlocker is sewing very, very well. It actually does a very, very nice stitch. It's a Janome overlocker as well. Actually, I think that was my mum's because I killed mine before I had mum's. The only problem it has is it does not like things like denim where you have the heavy part of the crutch. It doesn't like to cut it, even though it's got new blades on it, because I had it serviced. Luckily, I had it serviced. And it just doesn't like to sew over several thicknesses of things like denim because it doesn't want to cut them off. It sews over it, just doesn't want to cut it. So what I do when I reach a part that I know is too heavy and the overlocker's not going to like it and it's just going to try and chew it up, is I trim that down manually and just overlock it without it having to trim any off the edge, just in that thick part, and then continue on, because that overlocker actually does sew knitwear very, very well. And I have got an Elna cover stitch machine that I can change into an overlocker, but I didn't listen to the guy at the shop when I bought it, and he told me I would not want to be changing it back into an overlocker all the time, and I thought, yeah, sure, okay. And I mean, a standalone cover stitch machine was cheaper than that Elna that is a cover stitch machine and an overlocker. But I knew best, and quite frankly, I've only ever used it once as an overlocker, and the rest of the time I leave it set up as a cover stitch machine because there's just too much mucking around. I'd have a big pile of things waiting to change it back to a cover stitch machine, and I actually like to use it for the hems of all the little girls' dresses and all that type of thing. So I leave it as a cover stitch. So hopefully my man rings me in the next few days and said he was able to fix it. So the doors do shut on my smashed up overlocker, but the left-hand door is actually quite hard to close. So I said to him, I don't know if something's bent or if it just all needs unscrewing so it can release and go back into its right spot. But I hope, he said it's pretty new, so, but he should be able to get any spare parts that he needs. So he will call me when he finds out what's wrong with it. So fingers crossed I can get that repaired and get it back. So note to self and everybody else, if you're using horn cabinets, make sure that, I think it's called the lift, is snapped up really tight. Because you don't want to have an accident with it. And seriously, it was jammed in the bottom of the cabinet. And I thought, I don't know how I'm going to get this out of there. I couldn't even pull it out the front of the cabinet. So I had to pull it out, back up through the top when I got the doors close enough for it to be able to fit through the space. So it's something I really love. I love using the cabinets because it makes everything into a flatbed top, and then your fabric's not draping onto the floor, and it supports your fabric so it's not hanging and dragging and pulling when you're sewing it. My sewing machine's set into one, but it's actually got a really big bed because my husband made a top for it that extends way past the end of the cabinet and is much deeper than the cabinet. So that's really, really good. But note to self, make sure the lift is snapped up tight. So it's my own fault. I should have been more careful with it. And I was just vacuuming it out, cleaning it, and that's what happened. And another wonderful box. Thank you, Kristen. Absolutely lovely. So gets a really good boho theme. I'm going to go to my very special little video that you get. It's an extra get that you get earlier than everybody else when you buy a bespoke box. I think a few of the bespoke box places do that. And everybody have a really good week, and I'll talk to you all later.